Up next, our next speaker is the Director of Sales and Services of Microimaging Sales and Services, Inc., or MSSI. He has 18 years of experience in information technology sales, with 14 years spent in the document imaging industry. Can you please welcome to showcase MSSI technology, Mr. Reggie Borna. Can you all please give him a round of applause?
Thank you for that introduction. Good afternoon to all of you. My presentation is quite quick. It's about 10 to 15 minutes, and so I hope I get your attention. In behalf of Microimaging Sales and Services and our principal Kodak, we would like to thank the organizers of the summit for allowing us to be one of the sponsors for this event. Now, many of you have implemented and embraced the technology that's called document imaging in your organization. And so I do not need to further elaborate on what it is. In fact, we have a booth outside, just in case you want more information, you can talk to us. But most of you know of this. In fact, many of you are our existing clients. What I want to share with you in this brief presentation of mine is a challenge, it's a question for all of you. Because although many of you have implemented this technology in your institutions, we stop at a certain point and do not utilize its full potential. This is the question for all of us. Document capture is not a standalone project. It's part of a larger picture. It's part of a larger picture. And so if I could paraphrase that statement that I quoted in a Kodak manner, I would say it's the bigger picture of document imaging. You see, many of the implementation that we have in your organization stop at the point where we can capture the images from the documents and capture the data, store it in a server, and allow access to different people in the organization. But the fact is, this data and these images can be used in other ways, in more useful ways that can help your institutions. For instance, just to show you this slide on the enterprise content management and the document lifecycle. As I mentioned, we start at the document capture level where we basically call it scanning the document. And then we store it using methodologies in documented records management. This is where we give access rights to end users. Some of you might use it for workflow, and eventually it will end up archived in your servers. Well, there are a lot of other ways to use it. If you can see on the right side of the screen, it's called the horizontal solutions, where you can use the images and the metadata that has been captured through document capture stage. The first one that you can use it for is the customer relationship management. Daily, we encounter customers, whether internal or external, and we have to fulfill their needs. Most of their needs is information. It's information. And so we can use these documents and the images and the data to populate our information database. Not only those who have access to it, but also those who do not have access to it can benefit from this if we give the correct licensing and the correct access to them, not necessarily accessing the whole system and data. There are a lot of ways of doing it. We've been talking about cloud technology, and that's one way of doing it. I'll show you how that's being done later. This, can you go back there, please? And freeze it there for a long time there. I will stay here for the next few minutes. The next one is enterprise resource planning. We have ERP systems, whether supporting your financial application, and you need data, you need images to support that particular system. Human resource needs document, and we know here in the Philippines, for as long as an organization or an institution or a company is existing, you will need those records to be with you. And so we can use that as our archive. We have supply chain management. We have product lifecycle management, digital asset management. Of course, the most basic is searching the documents. We use these images in social networking and social media. Also in unified communication, utilizing software like, of course, Microsoft SharePoint. And in business intelligence. Next slide, please. So all of these things that I mentioned can benefit from document capture and the use of capture technology. We are reminded that capture then is the first step in document management. It's the very first thing we do even before we can have content. Now, incidentally, it's also the first step in managing the unstructured information. There are technology now that allows us to manage not only structured form-based forms or documents, but also the semi-structured or unstructured document, so that we can not only put an image on it, but extract the data within that document. So it's the first step in managing unstructured information. It is also the first step in controlling costs. The faster we are able to scan those documents, then the better it is, because it saves money for all of us. And it's also the first step in streamlining business. But it can also be the first place where it can all go wrong. Okay? And that's where we can actually help you. Okay, so if you need more information on how to utilize this technology and this data in your documents, we all know that bureaus and institutions, government institutions are mega, or documents are with you. You want to utilize this and enable your staff and your employee, your directors to be able to access this data quickly and efficiently, then we can help you. Okay. The second part of my presentation is just to show you a couple of products that can help you do this. And we have the next slide, please. Okay, this is one of the products that came out just a few weeks ago. Why am I sharing it with you? Because it is basically a new technology that will allow you to scan whatever and whenever. Because this scanner, you can see it is very small. It is USB connected and it is USB powered. And so many of our government agencies are in the provinces, are in the remote areas. We saw the need for such a product to be available to you so that you can give it to your agents, give it to those who are taking surveys from house to house, give it to those who are processing these forms every day, and send it back immediately to your central office so that this information that are inside these documents can be used. Okay? Next slide, please. And if you have such a product, you don't only have a compact means of capturing document. By the way, these are ATM scanners, automatic document reader, which runs at 20 pages per minute at that size. This product will also enable you to send this information, these images and the data through the different channels. And one of them, as I mentioned, is SharePoint. Many of you are using that particular platform. And another one is that you can actually scan it and send it directly to the cloud. Now the software and the application that you need to be able to do that are bundled usually with this type of equipment. So if you need more data, you can approach us in our booth later. By the way, I was reminded by the people at the booth, I think we gave you some survey forms. Okay, so if you still have those, if you look at the bottom of the survey form and it has a signature in the dotted line, one of our staff signed it, then it will qualify you to have a giveaway, which is a laptop backpack. Okay, so just please claim it in the booth. Now, for those of you who do not have that signature, you still fill it up And then we're going to have a raffle, I think tomorrow, for 30 more backpacks, okay? So you can win one for yourself. Okay, next slide please. Tapos na yung commercial. Now, if you have a lot of these small scanners floating around in the different islands of the country, then you will have another challenge. How do you now manage these scanners that are connected via network or via remote access? And so we also have the means of how to manage these devices. Next slide, please. And these are just some of the needs and requirements. I'm not going to go through them anymore. We can discuss it later. But I want you to see the last photo. Next slide, please. We have the Kodak Capture Pro software version 4, which has recently been launched, for what it does and how it can help you manage your network, how to monitor the data and the performance of each device that you have. You approach us in our booth and I'll discuss that with you. Why? Last slide, please. Okay. Actually, I'm done. But why am I rushing? Why am I rushing? I thought it was my corporate responsibility to explain to you where Kodak is, which is basically an institution in the imaging and picture and photo area. And I shortened my presentation kasi kanina earlier, many people were talking and they said, Kodak, we thought Kodak was dead. And Kodak has closed down. And so I said, the answer of course is no. And so I said, I'm going to take my last 5 minutes as a way of explaining to you Kodak's position. I believe it's a responsibility for us because many of you are our customers. Many of you bought some of the scanners just recently, and so this is an update on where Kodak currently is in terms of the Chapter 11. Now, 6 months ago, Kodak filed for Chapter 11. If I may use the term bankruptcy, Kodak will not want me to use that, but for you to understand, it's Chapter 11. And what is Chapter 11? Chapter 11 is a restructuring of a company. And it is very different from what they call the Chapter 7 type of bankruptcy. Chapter 7, basically, if a company files for Chapter 7, it will close down. Chapter 11 is restructuring. Okay? And that means it is now under the protection of the federal government of the United States for all its transactions. The federal government comes in so that it can be protected. Because Kodak, as it has been transforming itself from a company which is basically selling films to that of a company that is engaged in digital products. Many of the other companies would take advantage of that transformation and putting Kodak at such a disadvantage that it suffers financially. Now, for this Chapter 11, the federal government comes in and protects Kodak. Okay, there's a transformation going on. We believe that the Chapter 11 condition will extend for the next year or year and a half. Usually it's from 1.5 to 2 years. And what is Kodak doing now? Kodak is removing some of the businesses which it does not believe as a core focus of the company. And at the same time, it has been strengthening those that are, which it believes are the businesses it wants to continue in the future. One of them is document imaging. Okay, one of them is document imaging. So for those of you who own these devices, do not worry or panic. We are here to stay, to support you, and to continue to offer products to you. In fact, if you look at the Kodak portfolio, a couple of years ago, they are all color white. Okay, all the scanners and all the accessories. Now, if you look at it, they're all color black, except for one or two scanners. What does that mean? Kodak has continually enhanced the capacity and capabilities of its product to deliver it to you so that you can better use it. And we continue to do this. In fact, later this year, we will continue to launch these products and new products that in the market. So if you want a clue on what that is, you go to the Kodak website, you look at the portfolio, and if you see a white scanner there, then that probably is the one that's going to be upgraded. Okay? Secondly, how does that, another thing, and the last thing I'm going to tell you is, Chapter 11 for Kodak is only in the United States. Okay? Let me repeat, Chapter 11 for Kodak is only in the United States. All other regions are not into the legal proceeding, meaning it is business as usual for Asia and the other parts of the world. Okay, so I hope, again, Kodak being an institution, I thought it was good to share to you. I hope that was informative, and I hope you continue to be partner with us in your document imaging requirement. Again, thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the summit.